everybody, and welcome to the 18th episode of the Coffin Corner Podcast. I'm your host, GoodNightPunk, and with me, as always, is my good friend, Richie. That time I did it on purpose.
I thought you froze for a second, actually. Because you didn't move either. I was like, hey, that's good acting. He's like a statue.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy? Welcome to the 18th or 17th if you look at the title of our Twitch.
Does it say 18th?
Little accident there, but yes. 18th episode. I can't believe we've been doing this for 18 weeks or... I missed a couple in there. You missed one, but yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. The season's winding down. That playoff push atmosphere going on.
We're now at the point where we can recap old beginning of the season takes.
Yes. Oh God, I do not want to.
Dude, I was looking through some of the top fives we had at the beginning of the season, and they're good. It's good times.
I'll say this, though. The fact that we are in mid-December and both the Lions and Commanders are both alive for the playoffs, that feels good. It's unnatural, but it feels good.
It is. And the Cardinals and the Rams and all these other teams are not somehow.
We're not talking about the Cardinals. That's this I blame HBO.
We're going to talk about the Cardinals very soon. But for now,
yes.
Let's talk about our top five, which this week we're going to do something I'm calling the top five revisited, where we're going all the way back to week 3, so episode 4, to talk about the players that we drafted in fantasy, our top 5 players that we drafted in fantasy that weren't really on our radar, and see if they've done anything for us. So.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and start, because you actually have 2 people on this list that worked out pretty well, and mine's just one giant dumpster fire.
Yeah, so I picked Christian McCaffrey despite the fact he was a injured mess for years. But yeah, I picked Christian McCaffrey hoping that he would have a good year. He was okay on the Panthers, and then once he got traded to the 49ers, he just is gone, skyrocketed in value, and he's... Now that I'm in the playoffs, having him on my team, I feel pretty good about that. Christian McCaffrey, Carolina / San Francisco. Didn't see that coming. Definitely a good one.
Yeah, I remember going into draft season, of course, the concern was his health. And I was also concerned just about Carolina as a whole. But when he got moved to San Francisco, what a lucky move for him. Because that team has so many weapons. He's able to run free. And he stayed healthy for the first time in the last couple of years. So, he's had a hell of a season. So, that was a good call. You took the chance, and it paid off for you.
Yeah, I'm glad about that one. What do you got for your first?
My first one is somebody who, I don't even know how long this guy lasted on my rosters. Mike Gesicki from Miami.
Geez.
I mean, tight end is ridiculous this season. So, I've got a few on this list. But yeah, I took him thinking that Miami's offense was going to score some points, and they did, and they have, and it has not been him at all. In fact, I'm kind of curious. I want to go look at his stats. I should have done that before the podcast, but
I was about to bring up the fantasy rankings and see where he listed.
Oh, I'm sure he is very, very low. Let's see here. He hasn't scored a touchdown since October 30th. He hasn't even caught a ball in the last 3 games. Is he hurt? I didn't pay attention.
Well, if he's not on your team, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but it's just emblematic of how bad my seasons have gone in multiple leagues. Like, I drafted some terrible picks. You took this from our earlier one, but I could give you a top 5 of just poor decisions I made. Maybe we'll do that next week.
Position rank at tight end of all places, 26 for Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible.
That's bad for tight ends, like real bad, especially for one on a good team.
Yeah, exactly. They've scored points, but it's all been Hill and Waddle. So yeah, bad stuff. Who you got it for?
All right, so at 4, I have Chase Claypool, which I consider not great, actually. He is the he's the first person I look to take out of my lineup. And to be honest, I completely forgot he's now on the Bears, which has not helped him at all. So
he isn't anything.
The first part of the season, nothing. The second part of the season, nothing. Chase Claypool, I mean, he's ranked 49th, which isn't terrible for a wide receiver, but it's still not great either. So I consider that one a bust for me.
Considering that he has not scored a touchdown. Well, he scored one in Pittsburgh. Hasn't scored a touchdown in Chicago. But yeah, that's been a terrible year for him.
His best games were the 4 games before he got traded, with 10 points, 23 points, 10 points, and 14 points. And then every other game since then is under 8, and every game before that was under 8. So just not good.
So you had one player that got traded to a new team and thrived, and then another player got traded and just bottomed out. So you're all over the place.
For sure.
My number 4 is another tight end, Irv Smith Jr., who, if I remember correctly, was not doing too bad before he got hurt. But the Vikings also traded for, the hell's his name? The Hawk, T.J. Hawkinson. So that kind of destroyed Irv Smith's chances of doing anything. But just another, with tight end, I took some swings because I didn't take Kelsey or Andrews on the early guys in a couple leagues. So I took a swing on guys like Gesicki and Irv Smith and swung out on every single one of them.
Irv Smith, let's see here. Where is he? Let's see if he's worse than Gesicki.
He's got to be worse than Gesicki. He hasn't played since October 30th.
Who would have known that searching Smith would not even bring him up on the first page?
It's almost like it's a common last name.
Almost like there's a lot of people named Smith. Irv Smith Jr., IR, ranked 37. So let's be honest, he's only 11 ranks behind Gesicki.
How many points is he behind Gesicki? That's my question.
Well, let's see. He had 51.8, and Gesicki has 74. So only about 20.
So that's about, for the amount of games that Gesicki's played extra, it's like 7 points a game. So, But yeah, Irv Smith, just another lottery ticket. I scratched a tight end that didn't pay out.
Yeah, exactly. I got one that's not even on any of my teams anymore right here. So I guess kind of like a lot of yours. That would be Melvin Gordon III, who decided to play future after a loss in front of Russell Wilson, whose wife's ex whatever is future. So then he gets dropped by the Broncos. Perfect. So Melvin Gordon, now not even on a team, and a massive bust.
I think he's on the Chiefs.
Is he? Because he's still listed as a free agent or he was listed as a free agent a couple days ago in fantasy.
Is he? I thought the Chiefs picked him up. Let me see. Yeah, no, he's not on a team.
Yeah. Imagine playing.
He's on the Chiefs practice squad. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Imagine being so petty you play rap to piss off your quarterback, and then he has them fire you, and now you can't find a job.
Yeah, I mean it's the Broncos had a terrible year, so Melvin Gordon wanted to take out his frustration. It cost him his job and probably his career. I don't see a team signing him next year.
No, that guy's busted at this point. Yeah. The only reason he was starting is because he was in a place where they didn't have a good running back.
Javonte Williams.
Okay, they didn't have a non-injured good running back.
Yeah. Well, they split carries to start the year because Nathaniel Hackett's an idiot, and then Williams went down, and that was another. I took Javonte Williams in like 6 leagues, and when he got hurt, that basically just killed me.
Yeah,
but he's not on my list. My number 3 is my last tight end, Kyle Pitts, who was the one tight end I took, and I think I took him in like the 3rd or 4th round. who I thought was going to do well for me. And even before he got hurt, he did nothing, which was just the.
Mike
I don't know,
Gesicki
man.
has 4 less points than him.
Yeah. It was.
Literally the 25th ranked tight end to Gesicki as the 26th.
What a disappointment Kyle Pitts was. And it wasn't just him. It was he wasn't getting thrown the ball. Atlanta's offense, despite the fact that, their record's not terrible, their offense hasn't been anything to write home about. And Kyle Pitts, for as talented as he is, just wasn't being spotlighted. And yeah, it killed me. You draft a guy that high, and he is the 25th tight end.
Yeah.
You're not going to win very much.
Especially a guy that I was thinking about using a keeper on beginning of this year in one of my leagues because of how good he was his rookie season. I'm so glad.
Give it up for him.
He would have been a 4th round keeper, I think.
Yeah. So that would have been pretty terrible.
And I round up keeping Leonard Fournette instead as a 10th rounder.
It was okay. It was a 10th rounder. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, Kyle Pitts. What a disappointment.
Awesome pick right here, Tony Pollard, running back for Dallas. I think that even at this point, the Ezekiel Elliott downfall storyline isn't happening. He's still playing really well, but somehow Dallas is managing to have 2 ridiculously good halfbacks, and Tony Pollard is doing exactly what I thought he was going to do, only with Elliott doing well. So thankfully, despite the fact Elliott did well, Tony Pollard still managed to break out this year, and can only continue to be good in Dallas, depending on if Elliott stays or they trade Pollard. Wherever he goes, he's going to be good probably.
I feel like Elliott's probably going to be released after this year. If I remember correctly, they can save money by cutting him. So I don't see him sticking around, especially with Pollard playing that well. But you're right. Zeke is still playing pretty well himself. They just have 2 running backs playing at a high level. So good for Dallas. But yeah,
Pollard's
that was a good pick.
Pollard's the 7th ranked halfback, and Elliott is the. Let's find out.
That's overall for the season? Yeah, that's
amazing. Elliott's the 23rd ranked halfback. So
nice.
No. Pollard.
Yeah, Elliott's if they cut him as a post June 1st cut, they can save they don't save anything actually. But it's literally 0. It won't cost them anything. So maybe he does stick around. We'll see. But yeah, good call on Pollard. He panned out very well for you. My number 2 was something I promised myself I wasn't going to do, which was draft somebody from my favorite teams, because my philosophy is anytime I draft someone from one of my favorite teams, if they underperform, it hurts me twice. It hurts me in real life and it hurts me in fantasy football. And yet I ended up taking Darnell Mooney in 2 leagues, I think, because he just kept sitting there, and I figured, why the hell not? And yeah, he hasn't done a damn thing. Even when Justin Fields was tearing it up and scoring a lot of points over, that stretch of 4 or 5 games, Mooney wasn't getting any of it. And then he got hurt and was out for the rest of the year. Just a complete bust as a draft pick. But I made a mental note, and I actually put a note in my phone for 2023 drafts not to take any Commanders or Cardinals or Bears.
There you go. Yeah, Darnell Mooney. Ouch. My number 1 was someone I was actually really excited about getting on a team that had traded for Russell Wilson, on a team with a new coach that was supposedly good, with a breakout the year before, and that is Albert O. I'm not going to try to say his last name again. Albert O. from the Broncos at tight end as a late round pick, thinking I was clever. And that guy has been worse than probably every one of your tight ends you listed.
Yeah, I would agree.
How do you even spell his name to look it up? O-K-W. All right, that should only bring up one name. Nope, it'll bring up the...
Alberto. It's Albert space O.
His last name is
like Owagbanam.
I'm going to type it out in the chat for you to see why I'm not going to try to say it. There you go. Alberto had 12 fantasy points so far this season.
12.
He missed 6 games 6 through 13. Weeks 6 through 13. But in the 6 games he's played, he has, 12 points. So
averaging 2 points a game. Yeah,
just outstanding stuff.
That is pretty bad.
Dulcich has stolen everything from this man.
Like he drafted 2 Broncos on this list. I didn't even notice you had 2 Broncos on this list.
No, yeah.
That entire team did.
I had preseason. I had massively high hopes for the Broncos, and that was just the worst basket to put my eggs in. The worst egg to put my baskets in.
Don't put any more baskets in that egg.
Yeah, that egg is full of baskets. It can't fit.
Well, my number 1 is someone that I didn't draft very high, so it didn't hurt as much. But I did take him, I want to say, as my 5th or 6th receiver in almost every league, which was Kenny Golladay. There was all the hype about Brian DeBall for the Giants and Daniel Jones playing better, and I thought Golladay might be able to bounce back after last season. I loved him in Detroit, and for some reason in New York, he either just can't stay healthy or can't get on the field, and he just can't do anything. I don't even remember the last time I saw him catch a pass. So, yeah, that didn't pan out, but...
Wasn't he a healthy scratch a couple weeks ago?
He probably has been. I don't know what the heck is going on with him. Which is a shame, because, yeah, in Detroit, that dude was awesome. So...
Let's see, Golladay. Where did he rank?
Check his stats from this
season. He has 9.1 points this season.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Let's see here. He
missed 6 games.
He has 4 catches. Mm-hmm. He had 2 in week 1, 2 in week 11 against Detroit. That's funny. And yeah, hasn't played since week 11. So yeah, that's man. And he only got 37 passes last season for the Giants. He hasn't caught a touchdown for the Giants. Like, they paid him all that money. The guy has no touchdowns in 2 seasons.
People like Richie James and Isaiah Hodgins are getting more targets and catches than him.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So that was a bust. But didn't hurt me nearly as much as the Kyle Pitts pick. That was my biggest bust. I know this isn't part of the top 5. Najee Harris. Took him in the first round in 2 leagues, and that guy has just been an utter disappointment.
I looked at his stats from last year, and I'm like, Najee, that would be a good one to have. Nope.
Yeah, he was supposed to be. But we'll have to do this again. For the next couple of weeks, we'll look at some of our other top 5, some early in the season and the preseason, and see how right or wrong we've been.
Going into a season with just Stafford and Trey Lance as my quarterbacks, that would be one.
All right, well, let's dive into our Week 14 review. We're going to start off with the Vikings-Lions game. Great win for Detroit against a divisional opponent, a 10-2 leading divisional opponent. Lions make a statement.
What did I say last week?
That I
guaranteed they were going to win.
Yep.
Got it.
And I know Jared Goff is not the future at the position. I'm not gonna ask you your opinion on that. I think we're aware. But I will say that at the last 7 games, he has 1 interception, and he is playing at a level that I never really thought he could get to. Like, and it's not just that he's
get to or get back to.
I guess get back to. In Detroit, at least. Like, he's not managing the game. Like, he's actually going out there and winning the games, and that's really impressive. So I got to give him props for that. I know they still need to draft a quarterback with the Rams pick next season, because they'd be stupid not to. But good on Goff for playing that well, and for the Vikings, we're in the final couple of weeks of the season, and they losing the Lions and unable to clinch the division. And I mean, obviously they're still going to be able to. I don't see them losing out, but It's got to be concerning for Vikings fans to see them kind of stumbling into the playoffs.
Yeah, if they can manage it, man, this will be a season I never forget because it's just absolutely insane for them to have been 1-6 and now be 6-7 looking at the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Lions are, I think right now they're the 9 seed.
Yep.
And if they win on Sunday, they'll be tied with the Seahawks for the 8 seed. So yeah, they're right in there.
And they have the tiebreaker over the Giants and the Commanders, so
They do. Yep.
they're in a good
There's
spot.
A good chance. With the Seahawks also kind of stumbling. I mean, we saw that last night too, and they lost to Carolina on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is a possibility the Lions get that 7 seed, so that would be pretty exciting. Well, let's jump ahead to that Panthers-Seahawks game since I just mentioned it. So the Panthers get the win over Seattle. I didn't see that coming. They did it with the run game. Hubbard and Foreman and even Sam Darnold ran some. He played all right. And I think that was his first start since coming back from injury, if I'm not mistaken. He didn't blow anything away, but he played okay. And for the Seahawks, between that game and losing last night, I mean, that's Seattle's really starting to slip up in the playoff race. I mean, they, for a while, were the hot story in the NFL with Geno Smith, and now with 2 straight losses, a little concerning for them. And I believe their next game comes against the Rams with Baker Mayfield. We'll see how he does Sunday, but I mean, if they lose that game too, they may straight up fall out of the playoff contention.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane to me that somehow after trading Robbie Anderson and CMC, every time there's a game where I'm like, there's no chance they win this one, then they go out and win it. Like, I don't even know why I doubt the Panthers at this point. They are just finding ways to win games that they should not.
Yeah, that was
for no reason either.
Win.
Like, they're just ruining their draft picks. But I mean, they probably don't care. They're like, let's just play spoiler.
Coaching for to try to be the permanent coach. So he's fighting for his job, and the players are all fighting for their job. So they're all motivated. Yeah, good on them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Jets Bills. Bills get the win against Mike White. Didn't really dominate, but the weather was an issue. I mentioned this to you, and I don't know if anybody listening saw the highlight. Mike White got absolutely speared on one of his sacks, and that's where his rib injury came in. I believe he is playing Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure.
He's not. He's out. Remember that
out,
picture
okay.
I took?
Oh, that's
sent
right.
You?
Yes. Zach Wilson back to start for them, so we'll see how that goes against the Lions. For Buffalo, I mean, they're still the best team in the AFC. Right now, them and Kansas City are the number 1 and number 2 seed. Do you think it's going to end up being those two in the championship, or do you think a team like the Bengals can upset one of them in the playoffs? I'm not getting as impressed by Buffalo or Kansas City. They're not really dominating or running away with games. Buffalo was early in the season, but they haven't in a while.
I feel like it'll be like last season where one of the better teams at the top will be in the championship, and one of the, like, either a wild card or low division winner will end up playing them. So I could see the Dolphins end up playing them. I could see the Bengals end up playing it. I could see the Chargers somehow deciding that now is the time we're actually going to play and make a run. So
if everybody can get on the field at the same time for the Chargers, I could see that happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I don't think one of them most likely Buffalo. But yeah, I'm not getting as impressed with. It's not like in the NFC where it's like, well, Philly is clearly the best team in the NFC. Buffalo, Kansas City, they don't really show me that they're that much better than like Cincinnati or Miami on a good day, which they did not have last week.
Well, who'd the Bengals beat this week? Someone good.
They beat the Browns. So
never mind. I'm thinking of the week before then.
Yeah. They beat the Chiefs. They beat the Chiefs the week.
Yeah, they beat the Chiefs the week before.
Bengals are playing well. They look primed to make another playoff run. In fact, that's the next game we're going to talk about. Bengals Browns. I see the Bengals making another playoff run if everybody stays healthy. They've got Chase back, Mixon's back, so we get to see. And then for the Browns, Deshaun Watson did play better than he did against Houston in his first game, so he's probably just shaking off the rust from being away for 2 years. This week, I forget who they get. Let's scroll down and look real quick. I scrolled past it. They get the Ravens with Tyler Huntley at quarterback. So not to give away my pick now, but I think the Browns are going to get a win there. I think Deshaun Watson will get his first win since coming back. But, yeah. Cowboys, Texans. It was a surprisingly close game. In fact, if the Texans had kicked a field goal in the fourth quarter instead of going for it at the Dallas 1-yard line, they might have hung on to win the game. So, good on Houston for showing some fight and keeping it close, and LOL to Dallas for, after being anointed the best team in the NFL, almost losing to the 1-10-1 Texans.
They decided they wanted everyone to shut up about that.
Yeah, I guess they were like, we don't want to be talked about. We want to fly under the radar.
I remember you sending that text.
That I liked about the Texans was Amari Rodgers, who, if you remember, was a Green Bay draft pick last year, I think, caught his first career touchdown in that game for Houston. And I just thought that was cool because Green Bay cut him super quick. Like, he was like a third or fourth round pick, and they just straight up gave up on him.
A team that doesn't have wide receivers.
Yeah. So good for Amari Rodgers to get picked up and contribute in Houston.
For sure. I always like the second life.
Yeah.
Maybe we should get a third life for Galladay. That would be cool.
Back in Detroit.
Because he won't have it on the Giants. He has been banned.
He's not getting a third season for the Giants, I doubt. Jaguars, Titans. Jaguars getting back to that whole swagwire mentality. Trevor Lawrence, I watched a little bit of this game, and he's actually getting to be pretty fun to watch. He's slinging the ball around well. He's playing like a guy that was a first overall pick. He didn't do it last year with their coach. I don't remember that guy's name right now, but doing better this season. I like it. The Jaguars got a bunch of weapons, so that's fun to watch.
Saban? No, it's not Saban. Saban's still at Alabama. It was one of those big college names.
It was the Ohio State guy. I can't remember his name right now. But yeah, and then for the Titans, they're a bad team. They're a bad team surrounded by worse teams in their division, so they're going to win their division. But they will not win a playoff game. I will be utterly shocked if they beat whoever they end up playing in the first round.
I would rather watch the Jaguar. I know these two are the two in that division, and it's like what is it, 2 or 3 games right now? 2 games. 2-game difference. I would rather watch the Jaguars in the playoffs. I do not have any interest in watching the Titans play at all. Like,
if the Jaguars can actually pull it off and win that division and get in the playoffs, I would say they even have a chance to pull off an upset. But the Titans do not. Like,
no.
They would play the Bengals right now, and the Bengals would roll them.
Yes, absolutely.
Rick says he's highly disappointed with Green Bay. I agree. I'm highly disappointed with Green Bay all the time.
I'm highly disappointed that they're favored this week.
Well, what was the next game they're talking about? Eagles, Giants. That's an easy one. The Eagles rolled all over them. The
Giants just freaking falling apart.
Yeah. Hey, good for the Commanders. Brick wants to know if I'll put money on a parlay against the Titans in the first playoff game for them. Of course, yeah, absolutely I would. I will straight up just bet the money line on whoever their opponent is. Like, that's to me, that's an easy bet. The Titans cannot win a playoff game.
They can barely win regular season games.
The Giants losing really helped the Commanders. The tie, now going back, it's like, man, if we would have just beaten them 2 weeks ago, we would be in great shape. Because this Sunday night game comes down to, and I don't know the exact numbers, but right now both the Giants and the Commanders have, I think it's like a 40 to 50% chance of making the playoffs. Whoever wins that game, their chances jump to like 86%, and the loser drops to like 30-something%. So the winner of that game is in great shape to be the 6th seed behind Dallas. It's prime time. It's in DC. Makes me very nervous, but we'll get to that when we do our picks. Ravens.
It's too funny to me to look at their record and I'm like, oh, they're still 7-5-1. That's not bad. Even though the fact that the matter is they've lost 3 and tied 1 in their last 4, and they're still right in the thick of things.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they started off the season so hot and have completely fallen apart.
Right? Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. Next, where was I? Ravens Steelers. This was a stupid game. Tyler Huntley starts, gets the win for Baltimore. Kenny Pickett gets hurt. Mitch Trubisky comes in and throws 3 interceptions.
Who could have seen that?
Yeah.
Who could have seen Trubisky sucking?
I really wanted to root for Trubisky, and that dude, I've given up. We watched that game because the Commanders were on bye, so I was watching Red Zone. That dude just every pass he was throwing was to the other team. He's done. He shouldn't even be a backup at this point. He should be a practice squad quarterback.
Dude, that's bad. Is he starting this week, or is Pickett back?
I don't know for sure. I probably should have looked at all that stuff.
Dude, imagine Trubisky is starting, and to troll, I pick him up and start him in the Dynasty League.
You're trolling yourself.
Trolling myself.
Like you're trolling your playoff chances. It's just like, wouldn't it be hilarious if I just threw the game by playing?
Watch me throw this playoff game. Well, I'm starting Desmond Ritter, so I mean, in his first start ever.
I have more faith in Desmond Ritter than I do Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, I know that's true.
Quantity of the unknown. You know what Trubisky is. No, Kenny Pickett is doubtful, but they haven't named a starter. So yeah, I mean.
Well, who's their third?
Will end up starting. Mason Rudolph, I think.
Oh, put Mason in.
Yeah,
or is he still recovering from that helmet that got swung at his head
2 years ago? Myles Garrett. That was a crazy game.
Dude, that was insane.
Chiefs Broncos. Chiefs got the win. They didn't really dominate the Broncos. This was probably the Broncos' best game of the season. They scored 28 points.
100% best game.
That was the most points the Broncos have scored all season, I'm pretty sure.
Russell Wilson had almost 40 points in fantasy, which is his highest of the season.
Yeah. That was the most points they've scored all year. And it cracks me up because it seems like they're going to play just good enough to keep Nathaniel Hackett from getting fired, which, good on you, Broncos, I guess. But that dude's he's such a mess. You look at all the talent the Broncos have. For them to underperform this much, it's got to be coaching.
Yeah, for sure.
Bucks 49ers, Brock Purdy fever, man. People are in love with this guy, especially after last night, too. Like, everything's all about he's the next greatest quarterback. He's the next Tom Brady. All that jazz. Which all I'd like to say is, does everybody remember Bailey Zappi from about 6-7 weeks ago when he was the next Tom Brady and the greatest quarterback ever? So, just saying.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Yeah, Pepperidge Farm remembers. For the Bucks, the only thing that really stands out to me is the fact that this is probably going to be Tom Brady's first losing season and his first time missing the playoffs as a starter since 2002, which was his first year as a starter.
Yep. It's not been pretty. It has been very forgetful.
It hasn't been Purdy.
Oh, I like it. I like how you're doing the I'm frozen thing now.
My eyes actually started to hurt. I wasn't even blinking. I started to burn.
I was like, there's going to be some movement here. Or I'm going to actually start thinking he's frozen, which would have been amazing timing.
I was trying my best, but yeah, I couldn't keep my eyes from blinking.
Yeah, I wanted Purdy I actually wanted Purdy to be my playoff starter this week, but
which is funny because if you would have been able to play him last night, I think he scored like 26, 27 points, so it would have been a pretty good outing.
Yeah, exactly. Nope, not going to happen. I couldn't get my third 49er starter to play on my team this week.
Stop jinxing all the 49er quarterbacks.
Yeah, my bad, guys. Apologies.
Dolphins Chargers. This game actually was kind of surprising. I think we both. No, I picked the Dolphins in this one. I think, or did you pick the? I don't remember. One of us picked the Dolphins. One of us picked the Chargers. I think I picked the Dolphins. But man, Tua looked like just his worst game of the season by far. That was very disappointing. For the Chargers, they dominated, man. Justin Herbert in prime time, looking good, like the Justin Herbert from last year, keeping their playoff chances alive. For the Dolphins, the last 2 games have been rough for them. They've got to turn it around. They've got to turn around, or I mean, they're not guaranteed the playoffs either. There's still, let's see, they're the 6th seed, but the Patriots, Chargers, and Jets are all 7 and 6 right behind them. So
yeah, there's a lot of teams are right there.
Right out. Yeah.
Well, Tua at 10 for 28. That's like 30%.
Terrible.
33%
terrible.
Almost.
Oh yeah, you were at work. You probably weren't even watching the game.
I didn't see it. No.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's
it was very disappointing. Very disappointing. But yeah, that's they gotta turn that shit around. And then the Cardinals Monday night. Where to begin?
Oh God, so ugly. What?
I mean, the biggest story is Kyler Murray's knee, because it happened so late into this season that it's now going to impact next season. And the biggest question is just how much of next year does he miss?
Yeah, and who's playing in his stead? Because it can't. Right. Sorry, Colt, not the guy. So they either got to pick someone in the draft, like a 3rd rounder, a 4th rounder, or something. They got to do something because
and my belief is that they may be one of the teams to go after Baker Mayfield, because if I'm not mistaken, Kingsbury also knows Mayfield. I don't think he coached him in college, but I think he's just like a fan of his. And Mayfield's, he's not as agile as Murray, but he's very similar as far as like the type of quarterback he is. So I could see them doing that, signing Baker to play 9-10 weeks. I mean, Kyler Murray's obviously going to start the season on the PUP list, so he's going to miss the first 8 weeks. But just looking at Chase Young, tore his ACL November 15th of last year, still hasn't played. So if Kyler misses, 12 months, he's going to miss all of next season.
Yep.
And that's, So I agree. They can't just roll out Colt McCoy next year, and because then you're basically pissing away next season too. And after this season has gone so poorly for them, they need to compete next year.
They have to do something to bring back the fans. Nobody cares right now. Like nobody.
To care about.
I literally was just thinking to myself that I wouldn't be upset if they didn't play the last 4 games. The Cardinals. Don't care, because I do not care what happens in those 4 games for them.
Wave the white flag, and they're just like, we give up.
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah. And the Monday night game originally, we were gonna make the trip. I took the time off work, gonna go to the game because it's Monday night. The Patriots seems like a winnable game.
Yeah.
But just the way this season is gone, we were just like, no, screw it. Like, why are we gonna drive 6 hours round trip, spend the money on a hotel room to go to a game that even if Murray had stayed healthy, there's no guarantee they would have won that game. And that's just the way the season has gone. It's just been disappointment. Going to games live has just been, there's no energy anymore. Because there's just the knowledge they're going to lose. There's no reason to cheer when you know in your heart they're going to lose.
No, exactly.
Yeah. But, so that was week 14.
I think the biggest thing, just to this isn't game related as far as recaps go, but Steve Keim on a health leave, indefinite health leave.
Oh yeah, I forgot we want to talk about that too. And now, did you see the news about the offensive line coach that was fired,
Kugler? He said that I just saw a story here that says Kugler requests arbitration for claims versus Cardinals. What is that even? What's going on there?
So he's basically filing that he was improperly terminated, whatever the legal term is.
Mm.
Because he claims that it wasn't him that harassed the woman in Mexico City. He says it was a case of mistaken identity. Naturally, everyone starts wondering if people mistook him for Keim because they look very similar.
Yeah.
And Keim stepped away from the team the same day Kugler filed his, request for arbitration. So I was just reading that actually before the podcast. Is now everyone's like, wait a minute, is that why Keim stepped away? Because it was actually him? I don't know. They said it was health issues. Well, I hope the guy gets better. I'm not gonna, we're not gonna wish him ill.
No, I just want him to lose his job.
Right. Well, my hope, and I think
I hope he's healthy and he loses his job.
Yes. I think you were the one that mentioned this idea, was that he transitions into a different role in the back office, freeing up general manager, and then they can bring in Sean Payton to be both general manager and head coach.
That's
I love that.
what I want to happen.
Yes, I would love that. And maybe this is the beginning of it, getting Keim to, transition out, and this is just the start of that process. But we'll see. But yeah, I can't do another draft with Steve Keim, especially when we're gonna have a top 10 pick, and whoever he takes is gonna be a bust because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Well, see, that's another thing I was going to say a second ago about those last 4 games, but because they would be more exciting if I felt like there was anything to watch for development in. But what draft picks am I looking for development from? Trey McBride? There's nothing. Like, there's nothing on that team that's young that I'm like, I want to see what they are. Because the drafts are so bad. Keim has to go. Him stepping down to me was like, I don't know what the actual reason for, and if it is health, I hope he's better. But whatever the reason is, this looks like we're gonna get a new GM, and that is a good thing.
I really hope so. It's been a long time with Keim, and we don't really have anything to show for it. So you got to make a change. Got to do something. Like you said, give the fan base a reason to be excited, because right now it's just those same old Cardinals. So I don't know. That'll be interesting to see. But all right, let's move on to our Thursday night foreplay, because I am very excited to talk about this.
I had 4 this is the one I did for the podcast, so I'll talk about it. But I did 4 parlays, and every one of them failed because of this first thing, and that is Will Dissly, who's a tight end that did awesome at the beginning of the year. So when I saw 14.5 yards receiving in the game, I thought, well, that'll be easy. He got 13. He had a 13-yard catch, and he could not get to the 15 yards, so automatic fail on that. Christian McCaffrey, 40-plus yards rushing, easy. DK Metcalf, over 25 yards receiving, easy. And then I went big for some big money with an under 25.5 points, which did not happen. So,
yeah, that was I like that. I mean, you got close though. What did it end up being? 24-13. So I mean, you weren't too far off.
It was 21-13. So it was 34 points. Yeah.
9 points, but well, I am proud to report that my first podcast parlay hit.
Nice.
This is the first time I've been able to actually hit a parlay that I did specifically for the podcast. I went a little lower with my odds, tried to so that I could hopefully actually hit one. I did the 49ers by 1.5. I actually did an alternate spread. I did under 51.5 points. I did alternate total points too. I went high because I'm like, if they score over 51.5 points, that'd be ridiculous. George Kittle, 40-plus yards. He got that easily. And then George Kittle, anytime touchdown. Hell, he got 2. So I'm celebrating today because I hit my Thursday night foreplay for the first time in the season. And I sent you a picture of the other parlay I sent. I did another parlay, which was $1 bet. The odds were plus 7,183. So I would have won like $72. And I missed it by 2 things. I missed it by over 35.5 points, and they got to 34. And Brandon Ayuk, 40-plus yards, and I think he had 39. So I was very close. Let's see, this would have been a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 way parlay that I did. And I got 11 of them.
That would have been good.
That would have been fun. It wasn't a big bet, so I wouldn't have won a whole bunch of money, but it would just have been fun to hit a 13-way parlay. But I'm just proud to have 1 week where I hit our Thursday night foreplay.
Yep, for sure. That is pretty awesome.
That was the
I am mad that it wasn't me and it was you, but I'm happy for you.
Well, haven't you already hit one this season?
Not on Thursday. I hit one on Sunday for the Lions.
Oh, for some reason I thought you had already hit one on a Thursday. All right, well, then I guess I am the first one. It makes me even more happy.
Yeah, exactly. This is like a Shatter all over again. I'm always the second to get everything. Oh, I was really wanting to be the first.
Well, you're in first place for our picks, my friend.
There's that. So let's move on to the Week 14 preview. First, we'll talk about the Week 13 results, which saw Richie going a very paltry 9-3. Feel real bad for you on that one, but
you know what
tried your best.
Is that it was the Cardinals that screwed me twice because I picked them as my bonus because they were at home. I wasn't there, and they only win at home when I'm not there. So my logic was flawless. But then Kyler Murray tore his ACL. So they cost me. I would have been 11-3 if they would have won that damn game.
Which is insane. Would you have been 11-3? You would have been 11-2. Because you'd have lost.
Oh yeah, you're right. I would have been 11-2. Yeah.
Yeah, the same record as me then.
No, because you would have been 12-1. Because you picked the Cardinals too.
Oh yeah, there you go. See.
Yeah. So I'm just mad. It was waste of a pick by picking the Cardinals. This time I'm just gonna pick the Chiefs over the Texans or some bullshit.
Something easy. Going off that, I was 11-2 and hit my bonus, so I picked up 2 more games on Richie, which puts the season score at Richie 120 wins to 71 losses, and me at 123 wins to 70 losses. So I have 1 less loss and 3 more wins. I like where we're sitting.
I'm 63% with my picks, and you're 64%. That's pretty awesome. Oh, speaking of which, did you do the $1 per pick bet on Sunday?
You asked on Sunday, and all I could think to myself is, gosh, dang it. Because 11-2, well, sorry, it would have actually been 10-2, but 10-2 with $1 picks on the money line would have been a good chunk of change.
I did mine, and I won all the ones that I won, so I won 9 of them. So I mean, I think total I'm up like $1.80 or something with all those because I bet $1 and then you win at $1.24. So it's not really that impressive, but hey, positive money is positive money.
Yes, moving forward. All right, so let's get started on the picks for this week and see if I can only miss 2 again. That would be cool. We'll start with the Colts at the Vikings. The Vikings are favored by 3.5 points.
Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
Well, I got you listed, so you go first.
All right, that's fair too, because now that you're in the lead, I should get to go first.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I'm actually surprised they're only favored by 3.5.
I don't even know who's starting for them anymore, so the Colts said that is.
Yeah, I think it's still Matt Ryan. And I mean, they've played better under Jeff Saturday, but it's, the Vikings
just got embarrassed by the Lions, so.
Yeah. This is a need to win for the Vikings. I think they get the win.
I'm kind of curious, like, Oh, they lost to the Cowboys 54-19 last week. Way to go, Colts. Okay, yeah, Vikings for sure.
Yeah.
I was like, if they played it close, I might pick the Colts, but they did not play it close. All right, Ravens at the Browns, with the Browns favored by 2.5 points.
Well, with Lamar Jackson not playing, I mentioned this earlier, I think the Browns get the win here. I think Deshaun Watson gets his first win in like 2 years.
Yeah.
Tyler Huntley beat the Steelers. I don't see him actually. I don't see them beating the Browns, who do have some talent, even though they're not having the best season.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Tyler Huntley's only winning close games. He beat the Broncos 10-9. Then he beat the Steelers 16-14. Now you're coming up against a Broncos team or a Browns team that just did
They just lost to the Bengals.
lost to the Bengals. That's 23-10. But they're just, I don't know. I'm going to go.
The Browns did lose to the, or did they beat the Texans? They beat the Texans.
They beat the Texans.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, they beat the Texans 23-17. So
27-14. You were looking at the Bucks. That was the Bucks.
Oh, yeah, 27-14.
Yeah. So, but hey, you can take the Ravens. We got to have some different ones.
No, I'm going to take the Browns on that one.
All right.
Because they can barely beat some bad teams by a couple points. One of those teams is finally going to beat them. So,
yeah.
Dolphins at the Bills, with the Bills favored by 7 points. Bills.
Even if Tua hadn't played like shit last week, I'd still pick the Bills in this one.
Yeah, that's too hard to not pick them at home.
Yeah. Plus, it's in Buffalo. Miami playing. I don't know what the weather. Let's see what the weather is be like on Sunday in Buffalo. I'm guessing cold. 33 degrees. Yeah. So I definitely see. Oh wait, this is tomorrow night. Actually, this game's tomorrow night. It's supposed to be snowing and 27 degrees.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I definitely think
Buffalo is gonna win that game. Tua's from Hawaii. He doesn't want to play in the cold.
No, he does not. So, Lions at the Jets. Lions are actually favored by 1 in this game.
This is a tough one because the Jets have a legit defense. But Zach Wilson's back at quarterback.
Oh, yeah, true. Look out, Zach. I remember his last few games. They were terrible.
He was terrible. Yeah, I gotta go with the Lions. They're playing so hot right now.
Yeah, exactly. I will definitely take the Lions in this one. I'm not guaranteeing a win like last week, but I'm going to take the Lions too. Cardinals at the Broncos, with the Broncos.
I do want to say, it's funny to me that the Lions just beat the Vikings by what was it, 8, 9, 10? And they're only favored by 1 over Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the defense that they're giving this to, along with them playing at home, but Zach Wilson is not enough to make it a -1, or to only be favored by 1.
It's crazy. But all right, Cardinals, Broncos. Broncos are favored by 1.5, even though Russell Wilson's not playing in this game.
I am going to do the unthinkable and pick the Cardinals.
See, to me that's not unthinkable. I was actually going to pick the Cardinals. I trust Colt McCoy a lot more than Brett Rippon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Brett Rippon under Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah.
Watch him go off. It's just a Russell Wilson problem.
Yeah, it was all Russell. Well, and didn't Russell miss a game already this year? Brett Rippon, I thought he played. Let's see how he did. Yeah, played against the Jets, and he was terrible.
Surprise, surprise. I'd say the Jets defense is better than the Cardinals, but
yeah. I mean, I'm going with Cardinals. Colt has played well when he comes in. He doesn't
when he's
play
not
that great.
thrown into the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just look at the Broncos. They've got Jerry Jeudy had a great week last week, but we've got D-Hop, Hollywood Brown, James Conner. I think the Cardinals.
Trey McBride.
Oh man, Trey McBride. If the Cardinals don't win this game, I'll be even more pissed because they lost to Brett Rippon.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember there being a loss this season that would piss me off as much as losing to Brett Rippon.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Or Nathaniel Hackett, really.
Yeah, that too. Nathaniel Hackett as well. All around, I'm just going to be pissed. Eagles
-9 favored at the Bears.
Eagles. That's not even a question.
Yeah, we don't have to spend too much time on this one.
Yeah.
Falcons at the Saints. Saints favored by 4. You having a hard time?
My problem is I need to get some picks different than you, or else I'm never, you never get the chance to.
Well, who are you picking? Who are you thinking of picking?
I honestly, I want to pick the Falcons. I know
well,
Desmond Ritter's starting.
That's who I'm going to pick. So.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Well,
I just still think the
Falcons,
Eagles.
I have to take the Saints then. So.
I still think the Falcons are a good team. They haven't had.
Yeah, I mean it's Desmond Ritter's first start, but I think they're a talented enough team that he can win the game. But I got to pick something different. I can't just sit here and keep having one difference each week. I gotta
at least this one's
for the fences.
Yeah, at least this one is supposed to. I mean the spread doesn't seem like it's a close one considering some of these other games, but I don't know.
Yeah, they're really favoring the Saints heavily over Desmond Ritter's first start, but I think Ritter can pull it out. But I mean, I'll take the Saints. They're favored by 4. Maybe Vegas knows what it's doing.
Steelers at the Panthers, with the Panthers favored by 3 points.
Yeah, I got to go with the Panthers. I mean, we don't even know who the quarterback of the Steelers is going to be.
I can't go away from the Panthers because every time I do, they destroy whoever they're playing. So
yeah, I can't pick different in this one without knowing if it's gonna be the second or third string quarterback for Pittsburgh. So I got to go with the Panthers.
Cowboys -4.5 at the Jags.
Man. I'm going to go the Cowboys. I do think the Jaguars can win this game. They'd have to play an absolutely perfect game to do it. But I'm going to go with the Cowboys because it just seems like the most logical outcome.
Yeah. I'm also going with the Cowboys only for the fact that they just scored 59 points. And their defense is ridiculous. So.
Well, but that was 2 weeks ago. It's like the Colts. Last week, they almost lost to the Texans. So the Cowboys are all over the place.
Yeah, true. Anytime you go for the Swagwires, they lose. So I can't pick them.
That's why I'm like, it would be a hell of an upset. And if I got like upset bonus points, I'd probably pick them. But I'm just got to go with the obvious outcome. But I do think the Jaguars can win.
Yeah.
It's not like in this next game where the Texans cannot win this game.
Yeah, Chiefs favored by 14.5 points at the Texans.
The Chiefs. Absolutely Chiefs. The only way the Texans win this game is like the entire starting offense of the Chiefs all get like a stomach virus and they play all backups.
Yeah, exactly. That if they're like, we're not going to rest our starters next week, but we are this week just because it's the Texans.
Not in week 18. We're going to do it in week 14 or 15, whatever week we're in.
Exactly. All right. Next up, you've got the Patriots at the Raiders, with the Raiders favored by 1.5 points.
I'm going with the Raiders. I'm actually surprised they're only favored by 1.5. They've been on a little bit of a tear recently.
Well, I know you probably didn't expect this one to be different, but I'm going to take the Patriots.
Oh, I did not.
I don't trust the Raiders. I don't care how little their tear is. I think I'll take the Patriots.
That works for me. I mean, Bill Belichick, and it's Bill Belichick against Josh McDaniels. Mm-hmm. So my guess is that Belichick wants to like show his pupil who daddy is still. But no, this works because I need differences. So
by the way, the same Raiders that lost to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I don't know. It's in Vegas. Hopefully they're pissed off. They've had 10 days to recover, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping Josh Jacobs gets back to running for 200 yards a game.
Ed Zackley.
Ed Zacadeli.
He's a good guy. Titans at the Chargers. Chargers favored -3. I know how you feel about the Titans, so.
Yeah, Chargers. Nope. Not going different on this one with you.
You're not. Because I'm taking the Chargers.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Just make you think. Bengals -3.5 at the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I'm going Bengals. It's it's one of those things where it's like the Bucks could win this. You never know. Tom Brady could pull something out of his ass like he does, but the Bengals are the hotter team. They're the better team.
They are on
Bengals.
a streak, and I haven't picked them on all really on the streak, so I'm picking them now.
Oh, and they're gonna hop on the bandwagon and tip the whole thing over.
Yeah. Hey, we're on the same pick there, so if I do, I'm not losing ground.
I know.
Giants at the Commanders. Commanders favored by 4.5 points. I know you're waiting for me to start typing, aren't you?
Well, I mean, I'm going with the Giants, and it's for one simple reason. If the Commanders win, I'm very happy. If they lose, then at least I'll have gotten that one right.
Well, I'm taking the Commanders because of the fact that the Giants have been playing absolutely terrible.
They have, and I want to believe that this franchise can play in prime time at home and win a game when it matters more than any game has mattered in the last couple seasons. And keep their playoff, not really just keep their playoff chances alive, but surge their playoff chances. I really want to believe we can win this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can, but again, I like to cover my bets. That's why I also put $5 on the Giants to win, because they're the underdog too. So I actually the odds
make some money.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, if we lose, I'll be pissed, but at least I'll have like $20 to go buy a bottle of something.
Last game, you've got the Rams at the Packers, with the Packers favored by 6.5 points.
God, I want the Rams to win this game so much.
Right.
Yeah, I got to go Packers though.
Let me go see how the Packers.
Well, is Aaron Donald playing in this game?
I'm not sure.
Aaron Donald did not practice, so he's probably not going to play.
I'm gonna say the Packers win, but if I were betting the spread, I would take the Rams.
Yeah, I think 6.5 is a little overzealous for the Packers. And the problem is, like, if this was the Rams that had Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald, and like, if it was the Rams that started this year, but just Baker, I'd be like, all right, I can see them winning this game. But when Baker's throwing passes to like Van Jefferson and Tutu Atwell, and they don't have Aaron Donald to stuff the run, I got to go with the Packers. But and no offense, Brick, but I want the Packers to lose this game so much. Mostly because I do want to see Baker win, and that would be really exciting. Because also I want the Packers to be mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, so people will stop talking about the Packers' chances of making the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I hate that so much. Please stop.
Every graphic on ESPN or Fox shows the Packers in the hunt at like 4-9. And it's just so dumb. Like, yes, mathematically they are alive, but do you realize everything that would have to go into them actually making it?
Yeah, that's a good question. So,
or 5-8, I guess. But they're 2 games out with 4 games left.
That's crazy.
But yeah,
all right.
Packers. So what do we end up with? One,
We had three different.
2, 3. All right.
We had the Saints Falcons different. We had the Raiders Patriots different, and the Giants Commanders. So we need confidence picks here.
Let's go Saints and Raiders, and I'm okay if the Commanders win tonight and you get that one right. Well, confidence picks, I'm going with the Chiefs because I blew mine on the damn Cardinals last week, and fuck that, I'm not doing that again. So let's just go Chiefs.
I really thought you'd go on one we had different. So you got the bonus point.
I'm not confident enough in any of the ones we have difference. I mean, that would be great, but like, I'm not that confident in the Saints, Raiders. I'm definitely not doing it on the Giants.
Yeah. I'll take the Eagles as my confidence pick.
Yeah, that was the next best one to take.
Yeah. Playing the Bears. I'll take that one. All right, so
well, there you go. We'll see how that turns out next week. Last up, we've got our fantasy sleepers. To recap last week, you had an amazing call at quarterback. You called Trevor Lawrence, and he was the #1 scorer at the quarterback position last week.
Let's go. So, I got something right.
Nice. Very nice. I picked Tyler Huntley, and he scored 7.5 points. So, whiff. Running backs, I went with Donta Foreman because Seattle was 31st against the run. I was correct. Carolina ran all over them. But Chuba Hubbard got the touchdown. Wrong one. So, yeah, Chuba finished 10th, and Donta Foreman got 8.5 points. You picked Samaje Perine. He finished 25th, but he was projected 36th. So I'm giving you the win because he finished 11 points higher than he was projected.
Yeah, let's go.
Receiver, we both sucked. You had Devin Duvernay, who scored 0. And I picked Garrett Wilson, who was the 14th projected wide receiver, and he dropped all the way to 29th. So, womp. Tight end, you picked Brock Wright, who also had 0 points. So you were dead on quarterback, and then you picked a wide receiver and tight end that got nothing.
Got nothing, just did absolutely garbage.
And then I picked Hunter Henry against Arizona because the Cardinals suck against tight ends and have for, 10 years. He was the 19th projected tight end, finished 10th, so I consider that a win, top 10. The funny thing is, he scored like 10 points and was top 10 as a tight end because that's how terrible that position has gotten.
Oof.
Pathetic. Moving into week 15, I'm going with Daniel Jones as my quarterback because the dude always plays well against Washington. 2 weeks ago, he scored 24 points. He's the 24th projected quarterback. I mean, the guy, he's going to finish higher than that. That's pretty low. He runs on us. He'll throw at least one touchdown. So I'm going with Daniel Jones. It looks like you have taken Zach Wilson against the Lions.
I have.
Should be a shootout if Zach Wilson can get the ball to his receivers.
Yep.
He's projected 14th. That's nuts.
He is.
Yeah, that's insane that he's projected that much higher than Daniel Jones. Yeah, that's so weird. For running back, I'm going to go with Miles Sanders playing against the Bears. Chicago's 28th against the run. He is the 13th projected running back. I think he went off massively last week. I think as the weather gets colder, it looks like they're going to run the ball more. So I think Miles Sanders has another good week. And you are going with Brian Robinson for the Commanders on Sunday night. I like that. I thought about him, but I didn't want to pick somebody on my own team and jinx them. So thanks for doing it for me.
I got you.
The Giants are 24th. Brian Robinson's the 24th projected running back, and he's been getting used a lot more too. Like he's starting to become a workhorse guy for us. So I hope you're right on that. Wide receiver, I'm going with Chris Olave, so I guess it works out that I picked the Saints. Atlanta's 27th against the pass. Olave's the 22nd projected receiver. He's the top target in New Orleans, and the only problem is going to become if Desmond Ridder can't score points, then the Saints won't have to throw, but hopefully the Saints win this game, so I get that pick right, and my Chris Olave scores some points. You're going to go with Mike Williams for the Chargers, who's the 19th projected wide receiver.
I believe.
That dude, he's having a good year. He started off slow this year. He's been hurt a couple times, but good game last week, and I think he can continue to be a big part of that offense. And for tight end, I am going with Chigoziem Okonkwo. Let me ask you, do you know what team he plays for?
No idea.
Okay. He plays for the Titans. He is a rookie tight end. He has 31 points in his last 2 games. I know that because I picked him up in a fantasy league, and he has done very well for me the last 2 weeks. Nice. He is the 16th projected tight end, so I'm gonna ride Okonkwo. I think I picked him up in our dynasty league too because he is a rookie. So I'm gonna stick with that. And you are gonna go with Cade Otton, the 21st projected tight end for the Bucs against the Bengals. They definitely should have to throw to keep up with Cincinnati. So that is a good one, especially.
And they're apparently ranked 22nd against tight ends. So
yeah,
Cade Otton does well. 21st. Cade Otton does well. He's played well the last few games, and to be the 21 ranked against a team that doesn't cover the tight end well, I'll take it.
To finish higher than 21 as a tight end, all he needs to do is score like 6 points at this point. Like the whole tight end position is just.
And his last games, he's had 7 or 8 points and 14.5 points. So
yeah, there you go. He'll be top 10 if he scores 14 points. All right. Well, there you go. That is the podcast for this week. We've got games tomorrow, even pretty exciting. We got some. I know,
right? I'm gonna be playing some Saturday night foreplay. Let's go.
Do you work tomorrow night?
I don't.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we'll be able to watch the game and text, and yeah, I think I will, because that's Miami Buffalo too. That's a good game to do a foreplay on.
Well, there's 3 games tomorrow.
Right, but I mean Saturday night.
Saturday night. Okay.
Buffalo. Yeah.
Oh, that's the.
Are you doing Yeah, that's what I mean. Are you going to do a parlay for each game, or you want to just do one for the Miami Buffalo primetime game?
I'll do one for that, and then I'll do a parlay of my pick winners from this podcast. So like a 3-leg parlay with our 3 picks from this week.
I like that.
I think we had the same 3 for the games at night.
We did, and they seem pretty obvious to me. Vikings, Browns, Bills. I mean, the Browns and Ravens, the only one I can really see going south if Tyler Huntley pulls it out. But I like that idea. I think I'll do the same thing. And then we'll do a special edition of the foreplay, a little Saturday night foreplay.
Yeah, we're not restricting ourselves to having foreplay on Thursday anymore.
You can have foreplay whenever you want.
Let's go. All right. Well, everybody, thank you for listening. Thanks for hanging out. I saw a lot of new listens this week on the podcast on last week. So thanks to everybody that is new or listening. Tell your friends about us. Come hang out with us on Twitch at Coffin Corner Podcast. And we're here every Friday doing the thing. You can find us on YouTube's, Twitch, TikToks, Twitter. All those things. Twitter, Coffin Corners, all that stuff's right there on your screen. So come hang out with us and come enjoy some friendly couch banter, I'd call it. Having some good times with football. But thanks for coming here this week, and we will be back next week for episode 19 to see how we did. See if maybe Richie can catch up a little bit. But if you don't have anything else, Richie,
that's all I've got. I do want to say thank you for those that joined the live stream on Twitch and chatted with us. I was trying to be more active reading the chat. Thanks for the tip, Brick. I love him. I just gotta give him shit. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for joining in. Join our Discord. We're not super active in it, but we will be if we get more people in there.
Yeah, for sure. I have it on, so I see when people message in there whenever they do. So that was discord.me/CoffinCorner. And go check it out. So until next week, enjoy your football and enjoy your fantasy football season starting this week. So hopefully you're doing playoff season. My bad. Yeah. But until then, we'll catch you next week. Adios, my amigos.
Bye, everyone.